Okay, it's game week. I know our players and our coaches are excited it's finally here and play a different opponent. Playing a very challenging team in Georgia Southern, a team that has had a lot of success when they play some bigger teams, obviously beating Florida at Florida a couple years back, going to Georgia and going overtime, and of course last year playing Ole Miss and was beating them late in the second half. So, you know, this will ought to be a good game. You know, I look at them offensively. They're very good at the triple option. Anytime you play a triple option team, that's very concerning, especially the teams that really know how to do it. You know, so we got to be prepared for that. Defensively, they have a lot of experience on the back end. Their boundary safety is a very good player. It's kind of their quarterback back on the back end. Very good player, I'd say. And you know, first games are always about adjustments, and so we've got to be prepared in all three phases to be able to adjust. You know, you work the whole off season on plans in all three phases, then you've got to figure it out in the first quarter. So that'll be a challenge for us with that. But overall, we're glad game week's here, and I'm ready to see our team get out there on the field Saturday and see what the 2017 Auburn Tigers look like. Questions?
Gus, on that chart, I think you have carry on and Cam Pitt, like, kind of bracketed there in the first
Yeah.
spot. What do you think about that? Well, what led you to that decision?
They're two of the better running backs in our league, and you know, there are two guys that we go with.
Coach, what has Dean done in camp, Coach?
What's that?
Dean at corner, what did you like about him?
Yeah, you know, he's a guy that, you know, this time last year, you know, was fighting for a starting position, hurt his knee. You know, and he was able to have a solid fall camp, and he's a guy that I think has gotten better and better. And I know he's hungry to get out there and play, missing last year and redshirting the year before. But he's a very talented young man, and very excited to watch him.
Yes, your depth chart doesn't have Sal listed anywhere but wide receiver. Can you talk about what his role could be?
Yes, Sal is he can be moved around. There's no doubt about that. He has wide receiver skills and does a lot of dirty work stuff. But you know, you will see him at time to time at tight end, H-back. He's kind of one of those hybrid guys that we'll utilize in some different areas.
Gus, can you talk about your expectations for your offensive line group?
Yeah, of course, you know, I've talked all fall camp, the fact that we got 7 or 8 guys that we feel good about. And it took a little longer than it has in the past to really put the pieces to the puzzle together. And of course, that's a good thing as far as the depth's concerned. Obviously, Braden's going to start out at right guard, but you will see him through the course of the season also play right tackle. And he's going to give us the flexibility to do that. But you know, we zeroed in, and that's our starting 5 right there. But we have 3 other guys that we feel very strong about.
What does it say about Prince Tega and Mike Horton? They were able to beat out some veterans, some 5th-year guys for starting jobs.
Yeah, well, you know, first of all with Prince, you know, he's one of the better athletes we have, you know, up front. You know, he's really improved and gotten better and better, and just he has a chance to be a real special player. You know, he just lacks experience. And then Mike Horton, you know, obviously played last year, and then with our heavy set when we put 6 linemen in, you know, he started, and he's a guy that you know, he's had a good spring, had a good fall camp, but those 5th-year guys, I mean, they're right there. I mean, that gives us you know, quality depth, and we feel very good about the depth up front. And you can't have enough depth on either side of the football up front, as well y'all know, and so we're feeling pretty good about that on the offensive side right now.
His right tackle, Calvin Ashley, listed number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Is he a guy that you're interested in playing this year?
He's got a possibility. He's got a skill set that has that ability. I mean, we'll see how the season goes and if he's needed and all that, but you know, he's got he's what we thought when we recruited. I mean, he's a big athletic guy that just needs experience, and just felt that you know, that was the best thing to do at this time. We'll see where that goes.
I know he missed some time early in camp. How pleased are you that he's been able to jump up so much and
yeah,
so
he
quick?
missed a little bit of time, and you know, he still needs experience. Okay, I mean, and that's really the reason we have him there, and we'll see, how he progresses, but.
You have quite a few true freshmen on this depth chart. How pleased have you been with those guys being able to stand out and earn some spots?
Yeah, well, we said all along that there's going to be some of these true freshmen that'll be able to play, and there'll be quite a few that'll help some special teams, but, the depth factor, that we've been talking about, the true freshmen have a lot to do with that, and excited about their progress, and, they've impressed us so far.
Gus, what have you seen of Nick Cole? We've heard a lot about him all really, but obviously waiting all those things. Just,
Yeah.
What do you think of him?
He's definitely a big, fast, athletic guy. He is more and more comfortable every practice. He does have a lot of ability. He just needs experience. I know last year, even though he redshirted, there was times that, second half of the season, they had him getting reps, and that was really good for him. In the spring, he really took the next step, and this fall camp, I feel like he's taking the next step. He gives us the ability. He's an outside guy. He can also play inside, and so I think if he keeps progressing and getting experience, he's got a chance to be a very good football player.
What do you hope to do with Ryan Davis, Ed Will Hastings there, sharing that spot? And, one would assume maybe Davis would have had the edge just because he's the upperclassman, but...
Yeah, and you got to understand on a depth chart, okay, you put a depth chart together, but we move people around. There's different formations that different people will be in and all that, so I wouldn't read too much into specific positions as far as every snap goes. Obviously, those are two of our better wide receivers that have made plays. And there's times you could see him on the field at the same time.
What has Will done to impress you since the end of last season?
He's gotten better with the experience factor. He's very quick, and like we've talked about before, he's one of the quickest guys to come through our program, at least since I've been here. So, he's done a good job.
Do you worry at all with Garrett Stidham, either rust or just being overexcited to get back on when he gets back on?
He's real excited. I mean, the reality is he's only played 4 college football games, and so we got to keep that in mind, and we've got a good plan for him, to bring him along. But he's a very talented young man, and I know he's ready to get out there and see what happens too. And so, I think he's in a real good spot right now, but he's still an inexperienced guy.
He said over the last almost 2 years that you didn't realize until recently that how much you missed football and how much it was tearing at him a little bit. I'm sure, you're a football guy. Could you imagine not being able to do what you love to do for a year or two?
Yeah, that'd be very challenging, there's no doubt. And, the appreciation I think that he's talking about is just, yeah, he missed it, but sometimes you don't know exactly how bad you missed it until you get the opportunity again. I think that's really what he was saying. But, his team's, all behind him. You can tell he's real excited this week. You can tell this week's even different than it has been. He's got a lot of energy anyway. So I'm excited to see what he does out there and play. But we got to keep in mind, he's played 4 games, in college. So we got to keep that in mind as we move forward.
What does it say about Trayvon Leonard, Gus, that he's the second-team cornerback coming up off?
Yeah, he's another guy that we recruited. We expected him to play, and he's done some good things at times.
You mentioned earlier Whitlow had gotten hurt. Is everybody else going to be available?
Yes.
For this opener?
Yeah, they will, and he, we'll see where he goes with that and how much he progresses and all that. He was off to a very good start, before he got hurt.
And how's Marlon? How's he doing?
He's good.
You don't identify a third running back on here. Has that solidified itself at all?
Yeah, Cam Martin will probably be the next guy that is in. Devin Barrett's done a good job. Malik Willis has done a good job. We've got confidence in all those guys. And Devin's a guy that we feel like's talented. He just needs more experience. And when he gets in there, he can be very specific on some of the things he does. But, the good thing is we got depth at that position. And so that's always a positive.
Every team during off-season things happen. Do you have any suspensions heading into this opener?
No, we expect everybody to play.
Have you involved in how you handle high expectations at all in terms of how you address them with players? Do you embrace them? Do you challenge them with it? Like the high expectations.
Yeah, you know, in your own team, you know, you keep it within your own team. You don't worry about what everybody else thinks. You worry about what the expectations are for us that we've set. And, you know, our guys, you know, we expect big things within this room, and but we don't get caught up on the outside.
Coach, Chip Lindsey in the back here, talked the other night about the conversation that him and Jared Stidham have had as far as, you know, how the offense is progressing. How much input has Jared had in those conversations, and particularly for a guy who hasn't played in a couple of years coming into a new system, how important are those?
Well, the first thing is you want your starting quarterback to feel comfortable, and he has that input and will continue to have input. And him and Chip have a very good relationship, but there's nothing like real games. And you experience things in real games, and it even makes you even closer, and you find out more about each other. And so Jarrett will have, you know, a voice in the game plan with as far as what he's comfortable with, what he's not comfortable with, and that's what they've done so far.
Gus, has TD Moultrie kind of found a home at Buck, or are you going to still rotate him around like that?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's really, you know, he's got the ability to rush the passer, and he's got a great motor, and he'll also help us on special teams.
You don't see too many 224-pound strong side defensive ends, Gus. What does that say about Big Cat Bryant that he's able to work himself into that?
Yeah, he's a strong, athletic guy, and you know, he may be a little bit bigger than that right now.
Okay. And how about Tyron Truesdale? I know you needed some depth at defensive tackle. What did he do for you guys as well?
Yeah, he's impressed us. You know, he's a big guy. They can hold a gap. He needs experience, but so far he's done some good things.
Do you like the mindset of the attitude and everything of this team, or do you kind of have to wait and see as the season evolves?
Yeah, you know, we got a lot of information as far as experience. That we have a lot of experienced guys that have been through the ups and downs. We got a lot of information. We know how they're going to react. Anytime you've got inexperienced guys with true freshmen, you know, you're going to learn a lot about them in the first game. But we got good enough leadership that I really feel strong that those older guys have showed the younger guys exactly the expectations of what it takes. But, you know, each team is different, and you always learn about your team. Sometimes it confirms things. Sometimes there's things you learn the first game or two. And that's kind of why I said the very first, I'm looking forward to watching the 2017 Auburn Tigers first game, and there will be some things that we'll learn.
Anything else?
When you go out and start up a game plan and everything, Chip Lindsey said, obviously it just depends on going through your quarterback strengths and how many plays you end up going with, but how involved, you know, will you be with that scripting of those plays?
You know, I'll be aware in all three phases and know what's going on, and so that's probably the best way to answer
How
that.
different is that for you this year going into the season than it has been
Yeah.
previous seasons?
Well, it is different as far as right now is concerned. Like I said, you know, last year I got, you know, used to someone else calling the plays, and then of course now we've had a spring and a fall camp, and you know, it's kind of more getting into more routine right now.
Gus, you've had obviously all along the way running backs do big things. How do these guys, not just the top two, but all of them, compare with some of the other better groups you've had?
Oh, gosh. You know, that's probably a question probably the better answered midway through the year, just for some of the young guys. And I mean, we've been fortunate. You know, you think back at, you know, Trey Mason, Corey Grant, and Cameron R. Payne. Now you look and see what they're doing at the next level, and you know, that was a special group. And you know, hopefully this group will be in that same category once it's all said and done. We do have some talent that we're excited about. We do have two older guys that we know exactly what we're getting, and think those two have a chance to be as good as any duo in the country. So the expectations are high, but I can probably answer that question better, you know, midway through the season.
Yes, do you ever remember putting out a depth chart and having a pretty big group of defensive linemen listed and no seniors?
Yeah, that's a good thing, you know, and of course, you know, putting out the depth chart, I know there's some teams around the country that are not doing that, and so
We
but
appreciate
that'd be
you
a
guys.
trend, okay? 'Cause from the depth chart, you just gotta understand from a coach's standpoint, you know, you just giving out information, and then, you know, you always worry about a lot of different things, so. yeah, there's a lot of guys on
You got the two freshmen on your depth chart at kickoff return. Talk about Devin and Noah, what you've seen.
there. Yeah, well, both of them are explosive. Both of them have big playability, and we're excited to see those guys do it. You remember Kerryon Johnson, he's a true freshman, really excelled at that. And I think both those guys got a chance to be pretty good back there.
So they pretty mature for freshmen, you think?
You know, so far, you know, like I said, we'll learn more about them once the games get here, but so far they've done a good job.
Gus, you've got, I think, Cowart bracketed with Tyrone Truesdale, true freshman, at one of those defensive tackle spots. That's gonna get people going again with Byron, how we coming along.
Yeah, I wouldn't read too much in that. You know, like I said, you want to put the guys that are going to be playing, okay? And it kind of goes back to me saying the depth chart deal, moving forward with everything, creating a bunch of stuff that really doesn't need to be questions brought up. I mean, all those guys are going to play, and everybody will get a chance to see. It kind of goes back to why you don't want a depth chart with a question like that. You know, I mean, that just confirmed. Thank you for doing that. That just confirmed moving forward, you know, with depth charts and all that.
Got one more running back question. Tim Horton obviously has had success working with you. He had success before. What is it about him and running backs that he just seems to have so much?
Well, he's a big-time running back coach. He has the ability to relate to a lot of different type personalities and get the most out of them. You know, you always think ball security. He's as good as anybody I've ever seen with ball security, and our guys, you know, play hard. So you know, he's one of the better running back coaches in the country. And, you know, the numbers and the history confirm that.
Just carry on back there as a kick returner. I know that experience, and he's done a good job. Would you like to see one of those young guys eventually take it over?
You know, Kerryon's one of the better kick returners in our league, and he is so good at being an off returner too. So you know, we'll just see. You know, to have that depth is probably the main thing. Javaris Davis is another guy I'm real excited about. You know, he's probably our fastest guy on our team, and I think he's got a chance to be pretty explosive back there too.
His background as a running back, does that show up when he gets the ball in his hands?
Javaris?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he was. A lot of people recruit him as an offensive player, and he was a very good kick returner in high school too. So I'm excited to see what he can do too.
Does a cut block or anything else keep you up at night?
No. Whatever the rules are, you coach for that. You know, you coach your guys to be prepared for whatever's within the rules, and you got to adjust.
Anything else?